History remembers the Roman Empire, the Mongols, and the pharaohs of Egypt. But what about the ones that time forgot? The empires whose power rivaled the greats, yet barely make it into textbooks. Today we rediscover 10 forgotten empires ranked not by fame but by their real power, political influence, military might, economic wealth, cultural legacy. Some defied Rome, others rewrote trade routes, and a few, their secrets are only just being uncovered.
First on our list is an empire that controlled the crossroads between Europe and Asia, the Khazar Khaganate. Situated at the heart of modern-day Russia and Kazakhstan, the Khazars ruled a realm of immense strategic importance. But unlike other empires, the Khazars are perhaps most famous for one thing: their decision to embrace Judaism as their state religion. The Khazar rulers, known as the Khagans, saw their empire as a buffer state between the Byzantine Empire and the Islamic caliphates. But their most intriguing feature wasn't just their military might, it was their ability to blend different cultures. Jewish, Christian, and Muslim merchants alike passed through their territory, making the Khazars the center of an early multicultural melting pot. The Khazars controlled vital trade routes that connected east to west, but it was their ability to remain neutral in the face of rising empires that allowed them to thrive. Next, we travel to the Horn of Africa. The Aksumite Empire, which flourished in modern-day Ethiopia and Eritrea, was once one of the four great powers of the ancient world. But despite its power, it's often overlooked. The Aksumites controlled one of the most important trading hubs of the ancient world, with access to the Red Sea and the Arabian Peninsula. They were pioneers in minting their own coins, something very few civilizations in Africa had done at the time. But perhaps most astonishingly, the Aksumites were among the first to officially embrace Christianity, long before the Roman Empire. The Aksumites were not only economic and military powerhouses, but their embrace of Christianity helped shape the religious landscape of the entire continent. Their influence reached far beyond their borders. In the vast, unforgiving steppes of Eurasia, the Scythians ruled the land for over 1,000 years. These fierce horse archers became legends, striking fear into the hearts of the greatest empires of the ancient world. The Scythians left no permanent cities, no towering monuments, but their legacy lives on in the fear they inspired. The Persians, Greeks, and even the mighty Assyrians trembled at their raids. And yet, for all their fearsome reputation, the Scythians were also sophisticated. They were expert horsemen, skilled craftsmen, and had an extensive trade network. The Scythians were not just warlords, they were merchants and artists, leaving behind beautiful golden artifacts that are still admired today.
The Nabateans, masters of desert survival, were the architects behind the majestic city of Petra, a place so stunning it took the world centuries to fully understand its grandeur. But Petra was more than just a city. It was the beating heart of an empire that controlled trade routes stretching from the Arabian Peninsula to the Mediterranean. Their mastery of water management in the harsh desert enabled their cities to thrive, and with their wealth, they controlled one of the most lucrative trade networks of the ancient world, dealing in spices, frankincense, and myrrh.
Far to the west of Mesopotamia, in what is now Syria and Iraq, the Mitanni kingdom once rivaled Egypt, Babylon, and the Hittites. Known for their chariotry and horses, the Mitanni were masters of warfare and diplomacy. But much of their legacy has been erased by time. Their expertise in equestrian skills and military tactics changed the course of ancient warfare. The Mitanni's horse training techniques influenced the later empires of Egypt and Persia. Yet, like so many other forgotten empires, the Mitanni fell victim to the rise of the Hittites and the Egyptians.
In the heart of Central Asia, the Sogdian Empire thrived for over 1,000 years. Situated at the crossroads of the Silk Road, the Sogdians were not warriors, but master traders, diplomats, and culture brokers. Their wealth and influence spread across continents. The Sogdians didn't just carry silk and spices, they carried ideas. Buddhism, Zoroastrianism, and even Nestorian Christianity spread through their trading routes. And though their empire eventually disappeared under the pressure of Turkic and Mongol invasions, their legacy endures through the very cultures they helped shape.
At its height, the Hittite Empire controlled much of Anatolia and northern Syria, standing toe-to-toe with Egypt. The Battle of Kadesh, fought between Ramses II and the Hittites, was one of the largest chariot battles in history. Yet the Hittites remain a mystery to many. The Hittites were pioneers in the use of iron weaponry, giving them a technological advantage over many of their contemporaries. Their legal codes influenced those of other ancient civilizations, and their mastery of chariot warfare gave them military superiority for centuries.
Ruling the Malay archipelago, the Srivijaya Empire controlled one of the most powerful maritime trading networks in the world. Their reach extended across Southeast Asia, from Sumatra to the Philippines, connecting China, India, and beyond. Their mastery of maritime trade, coupled with Buddhist influence, shaped the political and cultural landscape of Southeast Asia for centuries. Though eventually eclipsed by the rise of Islamic empires, the Srivijaya left an indelible mark on the region.
Nestled in southwestern Iran, the Elamites rivaled the early Mesopotamians. They pioneered bureaucracy and urban development long before the Persians rose. Their legacy echoes in the structure of the later Achaemenid Empire.
Before the Aztecs, the Zapotecs built Monte Alban, one of the earliest major cities in Mesoamerica. With a writing system, complex calendar, and a society organized around astronomy and ceremony, their influence lasted over 1,000 years. Their quiet power lay in sustainability and cultural depth, not conquest.
Power doesn't always leave behind monuments that survive, but its echo lives on in languages, customs, and legends. These empires remind us that history isn't always written by the victors. It's remembered by those who choose to dig deeper. What if history is more than just a record of the past? What if it's a map of the empires we've yet to fully understand? Like, subscribe, and share this journey into forgotten greatness. Because the past still has power.